How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man?
Without Mr. Moore, there wouldn't be advanced schools. Mr. Moore came here when Mr. Rhodes did. Mr. Moore was the principal, Mr. Rhodes was the superintendent. And together they opened the school September 15th of 1930. Now, that's an accomplishment in itself, but what you need to realize is that they were only expecting about 200 kids. Even though that was a big jump from the four-room school, you know, there'd been the people coming to town for the oil boom. They didn't expect the numbers that they had show up on that first day. They had over 400 kids more than they expected. 400 kids more. I can't even imagine. He said that they were, that they were putting them in shacks, they were putting in lean-tos, they were putting them everywhere they could, just trying to house those students. Plus, they were all from different backgrounds. They were from 22 different states. They were at different levels of education. Mr. Moore used to like to tell was how 2 years later they started the football team, and after they got the school building built, the first football field was actually down there where the pep rally was for the bonfire this year, across the highway, and it was a cotton patch. And they took the boys out there and they chopped those cotton bushes down and made a football field out of it, and the cotton bushes have thorns on them. So even though they mowed them down and chopped them down, when the boys would fall, like if they got tackled, it would hurt. So they never wanted to fall down. He was one of those bigger-than-life people. I came along at the tail end of his and Mr. Rhodes' administration. But those two people, in everybody's eyes, were like giants in the community because of what they had done. They had taken a little place that was nothing and made it to one of the best schools in East Texas, or in Texas for all that matters. So yes, Mr. Moore, without Mr. Moore, there wouldn't have been advanced schools.
It takes a common trait to be great in whatever your profession is, and that's realizing talent, finding it, hiring it, and keeping it. That's what J.E. Rhodes did when he hired C.C. Moore. C.C. Moore was the high school principal in Van from 1930 to 1957. Being a child of a family that has kids spread out, if you're the younger brother of someone or the younger sister of someone, you know everybody they know. So I felt really comfortable when I found out that my fourth grade year I was going to have the ex-high school principal in Van. And he was a remarkable man. We hired only the best here in Van at that time, and you had to be the best to stay. And his longevity proved that he was both worthy of being here and an asset while he was. Right after World War II and going into the early 50s, that was a unique time in Van. And there was an alternate fight song that some of Van's more creative students, or possibly some of their more creative ex-students, might have contributed to. And like any other teacher and administrator, everybody gets a nickname. Well, Mr. Moore's nickname was C-Square. Not because he was square, but his initials were C.C., C squared. So they incorporated his name into this alternate fight song that was sang to the tune of the Notre Dame fight song. For a man to be woven into the fabric of something like that, his name was the only one in it, that means a lot to me.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.